Hey guys, GH, just over here with Mr. X. We've still got our jury rigged audio with us, so we've got to be cognizant of talking to the audio, and it's very windy. Just a couple of points with Mr. X. He's going through finalising his protocol and almost getting to his work and finished product. A couple of things that we've basically established now as base tenets for his golf swing, and they are for him. They are for him to have the ball back as far as he can possibly get it. As soon as he drifts the ball up, because of a peculiarity in his golf swing and his flexibility and the amount of backload that he has, as soon as he drifts it up, he gets a little bit of that when he hits it. If he wants to err, he wants to err on it being way back. Now, you just tell us what you're feeling to set that up back there and how you do that yourself.
I've found out that it's got to, in my vision, it's got to feel like the ball is way back behind my feet line. If anything, an inch or 2 inches behind my feet as a feeling. As going to what John was doing in other videos, you feel like you've got a free hand here behind your hips, and that's where the ball is in line with. So recently I'd been getting too far forward and wondering why I was sort of coming a little bit over the top and not staying in the channel.
Well, what was interesting is that he said that when the further back he got the ball, the more he could feel, and it takes a long time for a lot of this stuff to come online, guys, but he's only just now starting to feel what I advocated 10 videos ago or 12 videos ago, and that is that this lead shoulder is a blocker, and you feel it's a blocking action when you hit it. You'll actually feel a blocking action off this lead shoulder. Now, you can't feel that if the ball's up too far, because the lead shoulder just won't be in a blocking position. And the other thing is, you've just got to always feel that you're in this channel. That's the reason, the whole idea the ball is back there, so you can swing in this side of the body channel. I know I keep labouring that, but guys, it's just so important. You just really will not get the benefit of channel lock if you're not swimming in a channel beside your body with your shoulders closed. Whatever you do with the rest of your body and how you set it up at a dress is arbitrary. You can do whatever you like. But at the end of the day, the basic tenet and you know, the premise of channel lock is to swing in a channel beside the body. And when we hit it, we want the shoulders closed. Now for Mr. X, he actually experimented and he was actually bringing his lead foot up a little bit like I do. But that doesn't suit him. That takes away, and he's fairly flexible, so he needs more torque in his golf swing. Now the other thing, and what the reason I make that point, is that he's now gone back to his original channel lock foot line, which was open hips and closed shoulders, because he's flexible, he needs the torque. Now the other thing that's, because he was starting to get a really hard slinging power draw, and we don't want that, we just want a soft draw. And that was because he was getting a little bit too much shaft angle. So I've got him now feeling that this shaft and that trail arm is actually dead in line here. And you'll have this peculiarity of look here. But he needs to do that to get this feeling here. And that keeps the loft on the club, stops him having he's only got to go forward, you know, a little bit, 3 or 4 inches, and you open the blade 4 or 5 degrees. Now, unless you vigorously rotate the blade, you're going to get a push. So there are a couple of points. Now, he's also working with the pause, and yeah. So he's just doing his couple. See how we go. You could just do a running commentary on how you're setting it up. And when you talk about the foot line, you mean the trail foot, the right foot. Yeah, because the lead foot, forget the lead foot, it's all about the trail foot.
So my setup is still basically the same, but slightly open now. I'm a little bit more open to where I think my target line is. I might feel that I'm probably 5 or 10 yards left of where I want the ball to go.
As a feeling with the whole body or just your foot line?
Just with my foot line.
Okay. Well, I think it's more than that. I think when you're optimum, you're actually open about 35 degrees.
Okay. But still, by doing that, I've still got to have the ball behind my right foot.
Okay. So that's extreme, guys. Look where it is. That's quite extreme, but I think he needs that for him. And I think, quite frankly, I've moved it back today after talking with him about it, and it's brought my level of contact up. I've been hitting it great, but it's just brought it up to ridiculous standards today, and I feel like it is outside my back foot.
Okay, and I'm trying to incorporate that pause into my swing a little bit.
Okay.
Like I generally have a fairly slow change of direction normally, but just slowing it down a lot more.
So mate, it's not called a pause, it's called the Mr. X ready code.
Okay, we'll hit one and see how we go. Okay, setting up. Ball is definitely behind my right foot from my target line.
Yeah, that's a long way back. That's a long way back.
And I want to feel on the takeaway that the club is going here, going behind me.
Okay. Now, the good thing about that, it's a little chunky, but they went dead straight.
I think I might have been just that little bit too far back.
Okay. And it's very windy here, guys, probably 45 k's, and that nearly blew me over on the downswing, and I wasn't even swinging.
We'll try again, because I don't think I had enough angularity on my hips also, like we were talking.
All right. Well, I don't think you had enough torque in the backswing.
No, so
okay, yeah, now that's what I want to see.
We'll try again.
For you, that's where I want to see you. I want to see you there. Yeah, well, that's absolutely blueprinted, that shot.
That's the result of when I get the hips wide enough and the shoulders with enough torque on them.
Well, the hips for you, the foot line being open, opens your hips, and that torques you up a little bit. Because you need torque because you're so flexible. Yeah, that's pretty good pause. Okay, now you just give us an audible ready.
Okay, all right. Ready.
Yeah, it's perfect flight. Perfect flight.
Ready. A little bit late on the ready, but...
Yeah, perfect golf shot. But I think really, guys, when you're practicing and when you're training, you really need to work with the audible cue. Yeah, you really need to do that. I found the other day that when I had a patch for about 20 minutes where I just hit shots and really did cue in on saying ready, and man, I just nailed it.
Yeah, I still don't think I'm quite in the channel yet.
You're not feeling as much block with your lead shoulder?
I'm still feeling like I'm opening a little bit in the left shoulder. So we'll try again with this. I forgot the ready, but...
yeah, but it's perfect golf shot. I mean, you had to pause. The ultimate objective is to get that pause and to stabilise. And Mr. X actually reinforced today what he said to me the other day when he brought the Mr. X Ready code into being. He said to me, JH, take the club to the top of the swing and get balanced for the hit. And don't hit it till your balance is right and you're ready. Now, the feeling the balance, guys, is just that. Feeling your mass and balancing that mass. That's just another little aspect that's really important.
Okay, we'll try to remember the ready this time.
Well, it doesn't matter as long as we achieve the pause. You may be, what you might be doing is you may be remembering the ready in your mind, but you're just not vocalizing. Right? But and really, as long as you can get ready in your mind, which you'll probably, on the golf course we won't be saying ready because we'll look like a pillar. So, but though I wouldn't mind saying ready. I remember Johnny Miller, when Johnny Miller was going through the fits, he actually put on the top of his driver a little message, and he put tape over it, clear tape, and the message on the top of his driver was 2 words: turn dummy. Turn dummy. Now Johnny Miller, one of the greatest players of all time and one of the greatest ball strikers, I rate him in my top 4 ball strikers of all time. If he had to have a cue there for him, then we can work with one. But we can have an audible cue, or we can have just a mental cue.
Okay. I still don't think I have enough pullback here.
Okay, so make sure that, like when we were talking off camera, he very much had this trail arm in line with that shaft. So do you feel when you've got that in line that the face is actually dead square, or pointing a bit left, or what?
Well,
because normally when you've got your hands forward, it must be a bit open.
This actually feels square to the target, to
Okay.
where I want to go.
Good. Well, it doesn't get any better than that. And I think we can stay here all afternoon. I'm not going to hit any better than that. So let's recap. So one of the things that really is important, and it's really made a difference to me today, because I think I've actually just crept the ball up a little bit. And in the early days when I started, I had it way back, because when I first found channellock, I was talking on the phone. I was doing this with a club, just talking to someone, and I was taking these divots beside my body, and that's where channellock originated. And that was. And when I got off the phone that day and I hit the ball, he played it from back here. And that's how channellock was born. But it's just come forward a little bit. And Mr. X today, early on, was just hitting really hard push draws. Now we don't want that. We don't want something that's going to really hard draw. We just want something that's going to soft draw. Some guys are killed for a hard draw, but we don't want that. So, okay, let's capsulise. So we're playing the ball further back here. For Mr. X, it feels like what? 2 inches outside the right foot?
Yes.
2 inches. As a visual cue, that would be there. That's where I'm feeling it, guys. And the more relationship I can get with, this is crazy. Look where this lead hand is. The lead hand is actually in line with that golf ball. I mean, that's crazy. Normally in a conventional golf swing, it's over here. It's in line here. And my trail hand is behind the ball, but from there I can really take the club this way, and the face is still looking at the ball. That putter type thing, like when we take the putter away, it's always looking at the ball. Now that's so they're just some little aspects and some little facets that I think will help you. It certainly helped Mr. X today going back, and he'd actually done this. He'd actually gone from setting up like this initially, and he had the best channellock setup initially because he was here. He was open there, open hips here, closed shoulders here. But then he came up and he got really parallel with the hips, and I think that took away the torque. And if you have the torque taken away, you'll get to the top of the swing and you really got nothing to start you down. Okay, do you want to add anything to that?
No, that's pretty much everything. Yeah, I just crept out of position with my hips. The more I got squarer and squarer, I had nothing to start the swing.
Yeah.
The swing had to be started with the left side.
Yeah. Well, more to the point, if you get to the top in any golf swing, and you've got no torque in it, in any golf swing, the torque is the thing that starts, the torque acting on the lower body components is what starts the downswing in every golf swing. If you get to the top and you've got no torque and you can take the club up here, there's no torque, you can stay here for 3 weeks, nothing to start it down. But if you've got the torque in your golf swing and you get up here, I couldn't stay there very long. And the good thing is with the Mr. X Ready code pause at the top, that is really just torquing up that torque even more.
The storage.
Yeah, it's storing it more. But it's balancing the torque. It's balancing, and when I get up here, I feel a balance in that torque. Yeah, so they're just a couple of points, guys, that we wanted to make today. As I say, he wasn't hitting it. You could have still played with it, but it just would have been really hard draws. Whereas we don't want to have hard draws with you. We don't want to have push hard draws. We want to have just basically a little push draw, a little soft draw. You can work with a soft draw. So yeah, so he's gone back to his original his original stance, because I thought he was perfect when he first set up with channel lock. He was perfect. You show us the original. This is the original channel lock with him. Yeah, now guys, when we see that, things are obvious. Now, you may say that ball's not as far back as normal, but if he brings that foot around, bring the foot around straight. No, just bring your heel, yeah. See how far back it is still? It's only that he's got the foot this way that it doesn't look as far back as it is. Okay, set up again. Okay, now that's way back. Now that's where he was originally. Now I couldn't do that originally because I didn't have the confidence. But guys, see how much back cock he's got here. Just stay in that position, I'll just take the club. I don't know, he's got just come around to the front, square, just square up. Here we are. Okay, now go back. So that's square, go back to back cock. Guys, he's got 35, 40 degrees of back cock. Now that suits him, because with that amount of back cock, he can just go straight back here. He's already pre-channeled this golf club. We used that new term yesterday, a pre-channeling. And the more back cock you can have, the more pre-channeling you can get. And the more you can have the golf ball back in the stance, the more pre-channeling you'll get as well. So they're just some facets. So just set up again in the original stance, which I think is a good stance for him, and I'm actually trying to emulate that. Yeah, that's perfect. And the good thing here, guys, see this here? The 5 o'clock nose is way outside his right foot, way outside the right foot. Take the club to the top of the swing. Okay, now bring it down, keep the nose back. Now you've got to feel this. What I want you to feel, guys, feel that pushing on there? That's blocking. That's what we call the channel block. That there is, you've got to hit against that block, and you've got to fire that trail arm as long as you can against that block. That's what you've got to do. This is what lets you fire that trail arm. As soon as you move this around here, you're pulling that fulcrum around, and you're losing what you need to be able to extend away from. So this is the channel block. Now, take it back. Yeah. Just bring it down. Now, he told me, Mr. X told me, he said he felt like his lead shoulder was blocking him on some of the shots we had early on. And I said, that's what you've got to feel. When I hit my best shots, what I feel. It becomes a channel block. Yeah, so that's perfect. Okay, guys, that was just something we wanted to get on today. And Mr. X was here after, he just wanted to come over here and hit a couple of thousand balls to get rid of those 14 Christmas lunches and 10 bowls of Christmas pudding that he had. Man, I went in the gym today and I punished myself in the gym today. They had the grandkids over and all that stuff, and they're saying, here Poppy, have this, and I don't eat a lot of sweets, and I just felt terrible. Okay guys, that was just something I thought was worthwhile. It was good that Mr. X came along. Thank you, Mr. X. You want to say anything?
Thanks, JH. No, it's a work in progress, but we're getting closer every day.
Oh, and that's the other thing. Mr. X said he wants to refine and get down and lock down his protocol. That's what he wants to do. Now we don't want to have any variations from here on in. All we want to do is lock down what he's got. And if there's any little differences, we've got to find out what the differences are. We don't change the protocol, we're going to lock the protocol down. We're not going to change it. It's going to be there. Now we're going to build the protocol, set the protocol in place, and then it should be a set and forget. You just come along each day, apply the protocol, and away you go. But it's got to be the right protocol. And you've got to know what the protocol is, and you've got to know what the sequence of numbers are that associate with the parts of the protocol. Okay, I think that's all, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay guys, just some bits there that I think will help you.